Phoebe, welcome back to my channel. Not too long ago, I went to the store for notebooks for my pirate project. I wanted 2 notebooks for that project and I ended up coming home with 6 notebooks instead. I wanted one of the notebooks for planning out my story and I wanted the second notebook for writing out the backstory. I knew I wanted those notebooks to be in hardcover because I keep my notebooks and the hardcover ones look better on my shelves and they just last that little bit longer when using them all the time in most cases. I saw the Harry Potter notebooks and saw that they had the hardcovers for all 4 houses. I've seen them multiple times before, but they usually don't have all 4 houses. And because they had all 4 houses, I decided, okay, I'll get 4 notebooks instead of the 2 that I'd originally planned. And then I saw that they had other Harry Potter notebooks, and I really liked the brown notebook, which says, "Happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if only one remembers to turn on the light." So I grabbed a 5th notebook, and they had a Medora's map notebook as well, and I originally wasn't going to get it. I went and walked off and went and got the rest of the things that I'd planned to get from the shops. Ended up going back for it because I just couldn't pass up the chance for getting all the Harry Potter notebooks that they had at the time. The Happiness Notebook has become my daily planner for just what I do every day, what goals I have for the month, what goals I have for writing, what goals I have for my life in general, what I want to do, what I need to pay for, saving goals, just everything. It's not writing and YouTube stuff. I was trying to do a bullet journal, but writing down lists on a daily basis seems to work better for me than spending a long time making my pages look pretty. And I found that I was spending ages making these nice pages for the month, and I'd only use 1 or 2 weeks out of the whole month that I'd made, or I'd make them out a week at a time and then not use it at all for that week and then end up redating them. Bullet journals at this stage aren't working for me, but I may go back to it later on. But for now, I'm using this notebook with lots of different colored pens and ticking off and crossing out things as I do them, and that's what works for me, so that's what I'm using. The Medora's Map notebook became my planning notebook for my pirate story. And despite being the same price as the Happiness notebook, which were a bit cheaper than the 4 house notebooks, the quality is nowhere near as good as the other notebooks, and most of the pages in the Medora's Map notebook have fallen out already, and I'm having to tape the pages back in, and I've gone and numbered every single page just so I know what order my pages are in, if they fall everywhere, or so I know if I've lost anything or not. I'll keep using it until the end. I'm glad that I used it for planning and not for actual backstory, because that would have been really disappointing for my backstory and just stories in general if I'd wrote that in there instead of my planning. The Gryffindor notebook is for the backstory for my main character from my pirate story, and as I mentioned in my last video, this is the project that I'm working on with my left hand. If you want more information about why I'm using my left hand for my project, I go into more detail in my last video. The Hufflepuff notebook is the backstory for my main male character, and that is being written with my right hand. The Ravenclaw notebook is empty at the moment, but I may end up using it for my villain's backstory. I want to see how much of my other notebooks I use up first before I start writing out his backstory, because it may end up going into the back of one of the other 2 characters' backstories, depending on how much of the notebooks I use, because it's a waste to put something from the same project in a different notebook if I don't end up using the whole notebooks for the project. And finally, my Slytherin notebook, which has no projects planned at this stage, but I will eventually use it for something. I just don't know whether it'll be a part of my pirate project or whether it will be a part of my vampire one or something new altogether. To go with my notebooks, I also got myself some colourful pens, which I have been using for my planning. It's like different colours to split up the chapters so I can very easily see them, and I have set colours for writing down additional information or things that are out of order when I've been planning my plot as I think them up, and just questions I have for myself for where I want to take the story. So writing out by hand has been working better for me than I thought it would, considering I spent many, many years of avoiding it. And when I first started writing stories, when I transitioned from writing on paper to writing on the computer, it was the computer that was working out better for me. So it feels a little bit odd to be going back to notebooks years and years later. The migraines that I get have made me reconsider how much time I sit in front of the computer, especially now that I've started doing YouTube and I work all day in front of a computer for my 8 to 5 job as well. So I need to reduce that screen time in any way possible, and writing stories is on paper and with my typewriter is the easiest way.